This is Amazon on the 5-minute time frame. Here are your price targets for Monday. We ended the week at $193.25, down 2.32%. To the north side from where we are takes us to one level of resistance at 193.92. VWAP is at 195.56 in the blue line, and above that at the middle of the trend, and another level of resistance and a potential take profit area, 198.61, and above that at 2 standard deviations, 203.21, 205.62, and roughly 207.84. And to the south side at -3 standard deviations, let me move this out of the way. This is another level of support and a potential buy-in area, 191.57, as well as this area, 189.18. When I talked about this ticker on Thursday in my YouTube short video, I mentioned that we ended the day at 195.85 to watch out for this gap to the downside, and it did fill right there on Friday. So this gap to the south side is no longer a threat to our account. Of course, there are other threats, just not this one. And taking a look left, you can see the clear sell-off at resistance, 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 and here as well, and the buy-in at support. And then we are here. We could go to here or here, and then I will anticipate a bounce off of there as people buy the dip. And this is an old target that we have already met at 172. Oh, I forgot to clean up this one from a previous day. Let me switch this really quickly over to the day so you can see this. I've tracked Amazon many times. So right there is where we hit the target, TradingView's price target of 172.82. So the next target we are looking at is 222.22, which represents a 15% return from where we are. And on the daily, your window is at 2 standard deviations. Again, I like to play between 2 and -2. That will take us to 204.71, the middle of the trend and the baseline, 190.80, and to the south side, 176.56. So we have this gap. Did it touch? No, you can see right there. So this is still a threat to the south side. I will just extend it. I have no idea when it's going to touch, but right now on the daily, we are in an upward channel, but don't expect it to continue to go up without pulling back. And what is happening here? I have not looked at Amazon in the big picture in a very long time, as you can see with all of these gaps that I have not marked out. So this is a gap to the downside. That will take us to 159.76. Then we have, it looks like maybe this one. No, those are just, oh no. Oh, that one touched. So that is done. Okay, at 151.47, and what is 151.89? That one touched, and what's going on here? This one has not touched, so that will get extended. I'll clean that up later. And I'll check this out on my own. I don't want you to have to sit through this with me, but wow, that takes us down to 106.69 roughly. But again, we are moving farther away from these gaps. The next one I want to go over as a runner on Vanguard's Total Stock Market Index Fund, United Healthcare. It's been a while since I've looked at this one. So we've got a gap that will take us down to 447.91, But where are we? We are at 509 right here. 509.26. And that's the middle of the trend. And from down here to up here, this is resistance. So we could grind along here for a bit and then either move to the upside or the downside. But the 1 year price target is 576.68, which represents a 13% return from where we are. Now on the daily, 554.77 to the south side, 460.33, and watch out for that gap. But let me give you the targets on the 5-minute time frame, because that's what I was originally set out to do, but I got sidetracked with the other ticker. $509.26 is where we ended. All right, we are at the high end of resistance here at almost 4 standard deviations, which will take us to 510.92. Now, this is a runner here on Friday, so on Monday, I do not anticipate this to stay up here. It'll fall back down is what I'm thinking. So to the south side, support, and then we could bounce off support as well. 506.88, 503.33. VWAP is 499.70, the middle of the trend and the baseline, and support 495.50. This gap basically lines up with -2 standard deviations, 486.95, 483.84, 479.83, and then this gap takes us down to 447. And right now on the 5-minute, we are still trending upward. The next one I want to go over is Nike. Thank you to Murat for pointing that out. He messaged me earlier today to say that this might be the time to buy the dip on Nike. It's so sad to see this because I am in this trade for my mom and it tanked. So it was disappointing to see. And let me check one thing. Hold on a second, I'm looking at my phone here. He says, yeah, he thinks it's a great opportunity to buy the dip, and please check the weekly chart. So I will get to that in a second here. So this is Nike. This happens to be also at the bottom of the list. So first, let's take a look at what happened. Why isn't there an article here? I will go over that later. Maybe I'll just check it out right now. Why did Nike tank? Year-over-year declines in revenue and profit in its fiscal year ending May 2025, with much of the damage stemming from its slumping China business, which analysts project to come in 10% below 2021's record. So first of all, let's just go over the 5-minute time frame and give you some prices, and then I'll check out something else based off of earnings there. But why did we not have here we go, 3 hours ago. As shares of Nike ended Friday with their biggest drop ever following the sneaker maker's pessimistic outlook a day earlier, Wall Street analysts were retrenching, with some even questioning the company's management. Yeah, it's time to go. Time to clean house. You go woke, you go broke. You can't do that to the shareholders because you will get beaten up, just like, I don't know, Bud Light. What's the other company? The tractor company that I just saw a story on. Anyway, terrible, terrible, terrible. And shareholders are paying the price. It's time for heads to roll. Okay, here we go. Reported 12.606 billion. The estimate 12.86 billion. So analysts, the Wall Street folks did not like what they saw, with the projection. So we are here, the middle of the trend, or actually VWAP takes us to 76.15. $78.32. I was so busy today that I did not get to go on and check this out. So to the north side of that, 88.54, 93.57. Oh yeah, and target going woke as well. 98.67, 68.06. Oh well, 68.36, something around there. 63.20ish and 57.97ish to the south side. So I completely agree with Murat that now might be the time to dollar cost average in or start a position. I should say dollar cost average, not in, because I already own it. All right. So that's the 5 minute. RSI is turning, still going up on the 5. So let's flip this to the daily. The RSI, I've been tracking all these weeks. It's about 21, 22 weeks to see if there were gaps that could be filled, and then we just tanked today. Look at this. Oh, this is like beautiful. If you're an oversold buyer, right here, look, we're at 18. My goodness. Terrible for people who are already in this and didn't set a stop loss like me. So that's down. And actually, we've got more room to tank on the monthly. But this is where we got 34 before, we got to 31 on the monthly. Could we go that far? Sure, but will we? Who knows? So let's go to the daily as Murat suggested. Oops, stay on. Okay, it's harder for me to give you targets because it's such a mess. All right, ignore the horizontal lines. Those are either buy or sell signal, buy or sell, or in this case, my buy is the pink and support and resistance lines. So we are at 75. Oh my gosh, down here, Lordy Lord, Lord help us. All right, to the north side, see that wick, but we didn't stay there. 79.16, and then back to the middle of the, back to the middle of the trend, and this is in the big picture. This is not going to happen overnight. Roughly 92.78. This is going to whip us around to get to this level. So again, don't hold your breath. And then to the south side, 72.31. And that's all I'm going to say because these lines will obviously change as people start to trade this. Look, volume 129.97 million. We typically just see 13.7 million. People had a heyday with this. And just for giggles, you know what I want to check out because I've been meaning to do this is Palantir. This is a bonus video here. So we are at 25.33. 25.33. Okay. And to the north side is the middle of the trend and resistance, 25.44. 25.97, 26.25, and 26.53 to the south side. 24.90, 24.61, and 24.33. VWAP is 25.33. I deleted my sell limit. I had it going after this closure. I anticipate it to close, and then I was going to set it a couple pennies over, and I got rid of it because I'm just going to hold this one for a little longer that I bought in at $23.12. I own a lot of shares of Palantir, and I think maybe in the $12 range. I don't know. But I was just going to get rid of this one and then keep $21.49 and lower. So now that we've run, I'm not sure. But this one gets whipped around a lot, even though it has been steady lately. Oh, look, we touched right there. And then, of course, that acted as resistance. And then we started to fall down as well. So that's done. Delete. And yeah, that was it. Okay. And the RSI is turning down. All right. Did I give you? Oh my gosh, I have just totally spaced out. 2598-ish. And to the south side, if I didn't say it, and if I did, I'm having a Biden moment. 2489. And that does it for me. That is a look at Palantir, Amazon, Nike, United Health, and I don't know what else. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great trading day.